I will admit it's a little nerve-wracking. I've never ran anything before.
We believe in you. I'm waiting for a natural disaster to completely like decimate.
I have no idea what he held up.
It sounded like change.
I can only assume he was flipping me off.
Welcome to During Business Hours. During Business Hours.
It's during business hours.
127 Employee Edition. And we finally have Seth on camera.
Yeah, finally quit having cold feet, didn't I?
Yeah. Whether or not it's going to be fixed in post of just blurring your face out.
Oh, I'm not worried about that.
You're not worried about that anymore?
No. Believe it or not, I've grown as a person.
Nice. How long did it take?
What year is it? 2024?
Yeah.
Give it like another week and a half and it'll be 24 years.
How old are you?
23.
23?
Currently 23 years.
So you have at least 2 more years before you just finally develop, I guess.
Supposedly, that's what the internet says. So
you'll reach optimum consciousness.
I'll just the clock will hit midnight and it'll just full consciousness.
Full consciousness. Yeah. You'll get that tingling feeling in your brain, and you're like, all right.
I'll wake up one morning going, what the fuck is this?
I'm fully here. But I think what I was gonna tell you, because I got an update on my phone about about hurricanes.
Oh shit.
And
really?
since I do hurricanes deployments sometimes, I was thinking it's like, man, I must be like a real piece of shit for like because this is how I do work. This is how I get money.
Oh, watching for natural disasters?
Yeah.
How is watching for natural disasters make you a piece of shit? You're looking for where the most amount of damage is going to be done and then trying to find work there to help people.
But it's the expectation of like, man, I hope this happens so I can get paid. And it's like...
I mean, a good doctor, while they don't want to see you, needs you to come back in. Otherwise, they're never going to pay their student loans. So eventually, they're going to hope you hurt yourself so that you can come back and pay them.
I mean, I get it. But like in a hospital setting, it's different.
It's a byproduct.
Yeah. Because, I mean, whether people come in or not, they're getting paid.
Right.
If they had like their own clinic, I guess it wouldn't be as bad because like they're not getting super emergent stuff. You know, you're going to...
No, I'm not. I'm not going to listen to my own voice. I thought about it real hard for half a second.
It's only scarring for like the first handful of times.
Oh, if I have to listen to my own voice, this is going to get cut short real quick.
It's not that. Oh, so at least we got you on camera.
Yeah, I'm on camera.
So that's the first step. The second step is getting you to put the headphones on.
Next step will be the headphones. I can deal with that later.
Maybe if I play videos, because then you'll have to put the headphones on to listen to it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
What are some good videos? I don't know. I just decided to pull this up.
I don't know, man. I don't see... I mean, it's no different than having someone else want... It's no different than storm chasers wanting a big tornado to roll through town so that they can chase the storm. I wouldn't say it's any different than that. It's unfortunate that that's your line, that's the line of work that you've chosen, that's the line of work that you want to do. Unfortunate that the consequences of that are people get hurt, but
yeah,
it's work.
I think this is different also than like working traditional EMS, because traditional EMS is like, well, I chose this job so I could help people versus doing contracts of like, I'm waiting for a natural disaster to completely like decimate a part of the United States so then I can go and help.
Right.
Which, I mean, that's the other part of it of I get to go and I get to like help. But the initial intrusive thought is like, God, let this storm decimate.
Just let the world get beat up a little bit.
And then the logical side of it comes in like, but you know, like I get to help people or whatever.
Yeah.
How's the store been today so far before I got here?
Busy.
Busy?
It's been busy since since about 10 o'clock, had a couple of phones come in. It was a 8 and then a XS. And I have a Motorola I might be ignoring. I fucking hate that screen, man. It's so stupid.
Just having to test it out and everything.
It's just the way the cables are set on all of this. It's frustrating to get the pins to sit where they're supposed to. So it's just the screen. You're not supposed to remove the adhesive on any of the on any parts of the screen till the testing is complete.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, you can't really send it back. So if you can't test it without plugging it in, it's just small spaces and big ass fingers are not a good combination.
Right. Fortunate.
And then, of course, we have the iPad who waited a grand total of 15 seconds for that glue to cure yesterday before removing the rubber bands.
He got it and was like, yeah, it's fucking done.
It got handed to him, he said, and he took off the rubber bands immediately. Which, I mean, I guess if he wasn't told that he was supposed to leave the rubber bands on there, so be it. That's fine. Whatever.
Right.
But you would think to at least ask about the rubber bands.
Right.
You know who the owner of the iPad is. You would think.
Right. Because if you're watching, and we know that you're watching, come on. Bands are there for a reason.
Either way.
Yeah. It is what it is. At least it's what.
How's your contract hunting been going, anyways? You asked me about the store, so I'm asking you about your contract hunting.
Wait, I'm helping here at the store too. Helping.
You actually are doing quite a bit. I know you've been helping with all the soaps. Been slacking on the cleanup on that. I know that.
Yeah, well, I mean, because he takes the stuff home for like him to clean. Because, like, he lives right over there, so he takes, like, the buckets and stuff. But in terms of...
There's everything else that isn't the buckets.
I know. And, like, those soaps that are sitting right out there.
Yeah.
I have no idea what to do because they aren't going to fit.
Ask them.
They aren't going to fit in the back because the shelf is already full.
I'm sure we can do something about that shelf.
Probably.
I'm sure I can take all the cardboard boxes that I stuck up there for shits and giggles.
But those cardboard boxes are so important to this infrastructure of this.
Are they now?
But yeah, I need to ask him how he wants me to take pictures of those soap because they just look so god awful.
I can show you how to do that.
Like how to fix them and make them look pretty.
Yeah, I can show you how to mess around in the photo settings, or I can show you how to angle it, or however you want to call it, frame the photo. I can show you how to do that.
All of them look janky though. I think what was discussed too was like to possibly make it like some kind of Halloween edition.
Yeah, that would be an interesting one.
Yeah, because like how messed up it looks. So come up with some kind of like Halloween-esque name for it. Because that one was one that whenever we started, and which was weird because I checked like all the paperwork for all our other soaps.
Right.
The lye concentration is the same. And the way the soap calculator is on the website,
right,
it adjusts for everything. So literally nothing was it was perfectly set for that soap. So how it got thick so fast was just it either was like the shea butter.
I would have thought it would have been the temperature at which you guys put the lye into the rest of the soap mixture. That's what I thought you guys had been saying it was, wasn't it?
That's the other thing of like it probably could have been because it was out in the back room on the middle table.
The other issue with that back room that I noticed, the one where you guys have all the soap stored in that on that shelf, is I walked back there today and it was humid.
I told him.
Like it was moist. The air was moist.
Moist. I told Chris, were you not there that day when I was like, are you sure you want to keep the soaps back here because the possible humidity? And he was like, it doesn't even get that humid back here.
It was bad this morning. I know that either the AC needs to get run a little bit more often than it is, or get a dehumidifier back there or something.
Right. Yeah. Because that's one
But
thing.
hey, I'm not the soap maker. I just glue screens onto iPads.
It's seeping into your subconscious gradually.
Soap making 101 by osmosis.
Yeah. You're going to wake up one of these days in the middle of the night just making batches of soap because it's seeped into your subconscious.
Yeah, just wake up at 3:30 in the morning like, what am I doing with this lye mixture? What is this? What's going on?
Yeah, how did it even get here? And you just have a rack of soap already set. It's going to be glorious.
It will be amazing.
But
if it happens, I'll give you $20.
Deal. Because subconsciously, yeah. But no, yeah, contract hunting is still going on. It's uneventful. Yeah, still waiting.
Work in progress.
Yeah, because I submitted the stuff last week for an Arizona one. That Arizona contract that I submitted all my stuff for.
I believe that's Chris.
That's Chris?
That was the back door. Hi.
How's your day?
Not bad.
It's slower.
Guys recording?
Yeah.
Nice.
I have no idea what he held up.
It sounded like change.
I can only assume he was flipping me off.
That Arizona contract I'm waiting on. I applied for. Well, so like I am like on the roster for the company, have been for a while, but since I don't have my fire certifications, I can't do wildland fire stuff. So
fire certification. What's that entail?
So I need to take like a pack test, and I need to take some like online exams, which I'm planning on doing a class here in July for it. So it'll be like national, like forestry type things for fires. So if I'm like ever on a fire team or something, and like I'll have a radio, I'll know what codes or whatever that they're talking about. Or I think it also talks about how fires move, how they grow, the potential of them becoming like worse or better depending on the environment or the weather also incorporated in it. I'm sure I'll find out more like on the classes. But one of the main things is having to take like a pack test. And it's like it's either like 1 or 2 day classes that they also teach you about like wilderness medicine too.
Oh, that's neat.
Because you'd be out there.
Right. It's not like you're going to have any access to standard medical equipment.
Yeah. The contracts that I would see before even like wanting to be interested in it was you'd be out there just in the middle of a forest for 14 to 21 days. And you would just have you'd either be like at a camp or you'd go with a team walking to whatever spot that they're going to go try and prevent the fire from spreading.
Sounds a lot like a more detail or more frontline action of a watchtower for fire watchtower.
Yeah, which I think is interesting.
Yeah.
It definitely would get me physically fit. So that's the other thing. Plus,
bonuses.
Plus out in nature.
Oh, yeah.
So even better. Just out there in the middle of nowhere in a tent with a bunch of other dudes. But I think there are also women too. So it's, Something
tells me you won't be sharing. There'll be
it's a co-ed campsite.
A co-ed campsite?
Yeah.
You're not going to split them all off?
No. But it'd be me in my own tent because, like when Elden Ring.
Are you shy?
Am I shy?
Yeah.
I'm just maidenless.
Oh,
yeah. Maidenless. Elden Ring, maidenless. Sounds like it's just a bunch of... It's just a waiting game. That's pretty much it. But are you excited to take over the...
I am getting excited for that. It's something I'm actually really looking forward to. It's one of the only reasons why I am still in this town.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up here, and I just want to leave it at that. If I die here without ever experiencing the rest of the world, I will have failed in living. Because it's so sad. If you don't go and see at least half the states in this country, then what are you doing?
I don't know. Some people were pretty content in just living. I know a buddy that said he would never want to leave Northwest Oklahoma, like ever. I mean, he's gone and visited.
Fair enough. To each their own at that point.
He's gone and visited places, but I mean, I know some people that are just like, yeah, they have no want, will, or desire to go visit other places than where they live.
Let's see, I've already been to at least 3 different states growing up. I visited my mother in Houston, Texas for a while. So I got to visit like the Gulf of Mexico, is that what it's called?
Mm-hmm.
So I got to visit that real young, got to see all that. I can't decide if it was dirty or clean, but it had definitely a dark blue look to it. It was blue.
Where was it at?
Would have been, I believe it was I want to say it was a 2.5 hour drive to the Gulf where we were at from Houston, Texas, though.
Texas.
But I've also been to Utah as well and got to hike all the way up the mountains there. And that was a good experience that I enjoyed quite a bit.
Utah is very nice.
I don't know what the hell they put in the water. Like, even as someone who is not romantically interested in anyone, there are some fine-looking people in Salt Lake City, Utah. I swear there's something in the water.
Yeah, but it's just a bunch of Mormons.
Don't know what to tell you. Did you know Mormons have magic underwear that's supposed to protect them from all harm and damage?
No.
Yeah, you should look it up sometime. It's real interesting. It's part of their whole thing. Like, once they finish their, you can literally type, oh, there it's the
Mormon underwear.
Yeah, Mormon underwear, the temple garment.
I feel like we need something more than just Wikipedia.
What's wrong with Wikipedia? It's reliable. They cite their sources.
But can't anybody go in and change stuff, though?
There are moderators that keep all that, fact checked all the information. So, I mean, sure, but eventually it'll get changed back to the correct information.
I gotcha. The garment of the holy priesthood, underwear, adherents of the Latter-day Saints.
But yeah, that's part of, it's literally just called Mormon underwear. Got it.
2-piece garments.
Yep, but they go out and preach the Mormon Bible, and once they finish their pilgrimage, they get their magic underwear. It's been a long time since I've looked up any of the religious text for it.
First, the garment provides a member a constant reminder of the covenants they made in the temple. Second, the garment, when properly worn, provides protection against temptation and evil. I thought it was some kind of like magic underwear that like boosts your stats of like endurance or like healing or something.
It'd be a sacred item.
A sacred, because holy. Yeah. So
if I were to have to give this stats, I'd say it'd give advantage on being charmed and possibly maybe a proficiency bonus to religion.
Proficiency bonus in religion and
advantage
on being charmed.
Yeah, because it's supposed to protect you from temptations of evil.
Makes sense. So it'd give anybody who has charm towards you negative advantage or disadvantage.
Not disadvantage. So advantage just means you roll 2d20 or 2 of whatever it is that you're rolling, and then you take the higher of those 2. Disadvantage is the exact opposite. You roll 2 of whatever it is that you're rolling and take the lower.
I gotcha. So you'd be rolling 2 dice against somebody that's trying to charm you and take the higher roll.
Right, and then you add all your bonuses and everything else.
I gotcha. Honestly, when we talk about it like that, of it being a sacred item, kind of makes me want to go get some.
Hey, all you have to do is go sign up and become a Mormon. Although, I don't know if that is worth it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Religion's not really for me.
Last time I went to talk to people for Latter-day Saints for just educational purposes,
Right.
they would not stop coming to my house after I wanted it, like just an interview. I was like, "Hey, I'm doing this for like my nursing class at the time."
Right.
Because we were like in the segment of like beliefs and stuff for like patients and trying to accommodate them and whatnot. And the one that I ended up choosing was, or getting like out of a hat, was Latter-day Saints. And I was like, oh, like there's a place right down the street that's Latter-day Saints.
Right.
So I contacted them, was like, hey, can I like interview and, try and get more information for my class? And then after that, they would not stop coming
Wouldn't
by
leave you alone.
because
Yeah,
I think they took that as a sense of like, I wanted to be a part of their religion.
Yep.
But I was like, I just want to know about this for my class.
It's like, I'm just trying to educate myself. Please leave me alone.
Yeah. And it was like, God, it was.
I was riding bikes in town with a couple of friends and got stopped by Mormons.
Did you?
Yeah. We gave them fake names and fake addresses. And they stopped us for an hour and a half trying to get us to just talk.
You should have given them the names of your friends.
That
And
would
their
have
addresses.
been really funny if I could have remembered their addresses.
That's what I did to some of my friends. Yeah. They were like, do you know anybody else? I was like, I know the perfect people that would love to hear you out.
That's a dick move.
But it was
Not
hilarious.
saying I wouldn't do it, but it's such a dick move.
But it was hilarious.
It would be.
So was it Galveston?
Probably.
Because I think
That's the only place I could think of it being, because it's right around that area, the Galveston area.
Yeah. I heard that it's been horrible here at the coast lately, like in terms of it being like clean.
Look, whenever I visited, I was like 6.
Early 2000s,
Yeah.
mid 2000s.
It was early mid 2000s.
I'm sure it was better, but
It wasn't that bad. Got to see a dead jellyfish.
that's something.
Yeah.
I can't remember where I went because it might have been more southern coast because my godparents live in San Antonio.
Right.
And I remember as a kid, we went to the coast one time. So it was either southern or somewhere for my godparents whenever I visited the coast down here. But I also went on a trip in high school where I went to Orlando and I could visit the East Coast.
I've never been to Florida.
You've never been to Florida?
I've never been to Florida. I can point out all the places, all the states I've visited.
Florida's so humid, though.
I can't. I can only imagine. So I've been to Houston, Texas, more often than not. I've visited Colorado and Pikes Peak. I've lived in Utah. Briefly visited Arizona in a layover. I don't know if that counts. I didn't even leave the airport terminal.
I think it counts if you want it to count. I think
I'll count the airport terminal that had the layover. I visited that airport. In Arizona. And then I have driven from Oklahoma all the way up to Ohio for a 3-day trip, which was exhausting. And I'm pretty sure it cost me a vehicle, but I came back, got an oil change, and that oil had metal shavings in it.
Oh, God.
So yeah, now I have a $4,000 brick in my front yard, just rotting right now. I need to take it to the dump. And then...
Can't you take it for scrap metal?
I say dump, but I'm going to charge the battery and take it into the junkyard, get like maybe $1,000 from it for parts. And then I've also been to Kansas as well as... No, I haven't been to Ohio. It was Iowa. I always get those two mixed up.
There are 2 states in between them, brother.
They sound so similar.
Iowa
and Ohio. Leave me alone. I get them mixed up, okay? Honestly, I forget Iowa exists sometimes. There is nothing in Iowa. And then I've also been to Nebraska.
Nice.
The mountains in Utah are probably my favorite.
Mm-hmm. I love Colorado.
They're great.
I love Wyoming more. And Oregon is nice in terms of their scenery.
Right.
Because I'll show you. So other than just being to like the standard, like Texas, Kansas for like a trip for Boy Scouts one time.
Right.
Mexico, because Mexican. But also I got family there.
Fair enough.
Went to Florida the first time for the school trip for band. We got to march around Disney, like the Kingdom or whatever. It was pretty nice. And then more Western for the hurricane I went to. I went on a mission trip one time to New York State and got to visit New York City. I really wanted to go to Chicago, but I unfortunately had to drop the contract like a couple years ago. But trying to see where else. The second time I went to New York was for my other contract. That was upstate New York in Syracuse. I went to where was it? Grand Mesa and Breckenridge. Breckenridge is always nice. I love visiting Breckenridge, especially their brewery there.
Right.
Wyoming, Jackson Hole. Almost made it to Montana when we were doing the Yellowstone National Park. And then I got to go to Oregon, went all the way from Portland, Eugene, almost all along the west coast.
A little bit of everywhere.
Yeah, of Oregon. The only time I ever visited Washington was just like driving through like up here because there's like a fire coming through.
Right.
And I had to take like a detour that was like right on the southern edge of Washington so I could get into Portland. But that entire trip took me 6 hours straight from here all the way to Oregon. But getting to see the desert like in the middle of the night with the moon just shining everywhere was pretty nice and really cool. I was a little afraid of just being out in the desert and running out of gas. But I mean,
valid.
I was able to make it to a gas station, and then towards the top of New Mexico, I started to fall asleep and veering off the road.
Just pull over at that point. Pull over, take a nap.
I was so committed at that point.
It's just pull over, take a nap. There's no point.
I mean, I pulled over and I went to the gas station and got myself like a snack. And like at that point, it was like a second wind.
Fair enough.
And it was like all the way straight to Oklahoma City. But yeah, fun times, fun trips, fun waiting for things to happen. And then
so much fun.
Yeah. And then your fun of waiting to be in charge of this store while Chris sets up his other one in Enid.
I will admit it's a little nerve-wracking. I've never ran anything before.
We believe in you.
That makes one of you.
Thanks for being on camera.
Sure.
And having
I keep telling you, all you have to do is just turn the camera on while I'm in here.
Yeah, but sometimes I don't know if you're going to be like, no, fuck that. But
well, if I see you start to go reach for the camera, I mean, I will just tell you, like, not today, or okay.
All right. Fair enough.
If I go, all you have to do is just turn on the cameras, get things going. Like more of a green light.
All right. Fair enough.
Fair enough. Indeed.
I appreciate it, Seth.
Yeah.
And that's today's edition of During Business Hours Employee Edition. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Y'all have a great day.
Life can be super happy, life can be super sad. I'm trying super hard to separate the good and bad. I go back to my future just to get to my past. But knowing me, my DeLorean will